talk over different variations of squats and lunges for you to practice and try out at home. So the first thing we're going to do is grab a chair. So to start practicing the squat, we're going to just sit back onto the chair and practice lowering the hips whilst keeping our chest up. So we're pushing down through the ground and then lowering and pushing through the ground. So the reason we're practicing this is to make sure that when we squat, we're not dipping the chest without lowering our hips. So we're lowering the hips, then pushing through the ground to stand up through both feet. To progress that then, instead of sitting on the chair, you just hover and tap it slightly. So we're just going down and then push through the ground, like so. Once you get comfortable with that, you can then take it to the bodyweight squat. So what we're focusing on with the squat is our knees and making sure they're not caving and wobbling in. So when we're going down, we don't want the knees doing this. So what you could do is practice with a resistance band. So putting a resistance band just above your knees. As you go down, you want to think about pushing that band out to the side and pushing up. So that's a good way of practicing that good form. Another thing we want to concentrate on is pushing through our heels and our big toes. So sometimes when we squat down, our heels will come up, but we don't want that. So think about putting weight back onto that chair, going down through the heels and pushing away through your heels and your big toe. So I always say, imagine that you're on a leg press when you're in the gym. That press comes towards you and you're going to push it away. So the same thing from the ground. We want to push through and down, away from our feet, through our heels, through our big toes and up. So once we get more confident with our body weight squat, you can take it to a split squat. So this is taking one foot back and you drop that knee down. So what you want to make sure of is that your feet aren't directly behind each other. So imagine you're on some train tracks, so parallel feet, and you want to drop the knee down and then push up through the front foot. So when we're going down, we don't want to lean backwards into it. We want to push through the front foot, all that weight comes through there. So through that heel and the big toe again. So you're in this stance, dropping the knee down, weight goes over that front foot and driving up. So we're going down, driving up. Again, not like letting that weight shift backwards. Once you get confident with that split squat, you can take it to a reverse lunge. So what you're doing then is stepping backwards and stepping back up. So it's a little bit more technical and requires more core engagement because it's an unbalanced exercise. So you're going down and back up. Once you get confident with this, you can take it to alternating lunges. So again, we want to make sure that we're on those train tracks, taking our feet kind of in that box stance. We don't want to be going directly behind. Again, just highlighting, we don't want to be leaning backwards with it. We want to shift our weight forward slightly, engage that core and push down through the heel and the big toe. So we're going down, pushing up, down, pushing up again, like we're on that leg press. We want to push through the ground, use this leg and drive through. So once you get confident with them, you can take it to a Bulgarian split squat. For this, you want to grab the chair again, take it behind you and take one big step forwards. Then what you're going to do is kick one leg backwards up onto the chair. Now you can have your toe on the chair or the front of your foot. Either one doesn't really matter, just do whatever's comfy. So the next step would be to take that knee down to the ground. So going down to the ground and we're going to push through this front foot back up. Now if you're too close to the chair, this back foot too close to the chair, you'll find that this heel might start to come up. Now that's because you don't have the mobility and flexibility here to kind of drive forwards with the knee. So take a nice big step forwards, drop that knee down to the ground, and this knee will kind of shift forwards over the toe, which isn't such a problem, just making sure that your heel stays on the ground and you're driving up through that front leg. So again, just to show you, you're dropping that knee down to the ground, pushing through that front leg. We don't want to put our weight backwards, just like we said with the lunges. So we don't actually want too much weight through this foot. So you should really be able to pick up that back foot. Like that's how little pressure we're putting through there. So it's all about the front foot, taking the knee down to the ground, driving and pushing through. So another exercise to try with the chair then would be a step up. So it's that same movement as a lunge, but instead we're just going up. So take a foot up to the chair and you're driving upwards. So again, all of these movements have got this kind of position in all of them. And you want to be using that foot and pushing through because it's that is going to be working the legs. So in the squat, it does it in both legs. In a lunge, split squat, it does it in the one. And the step up, same, it's that one leg, but you're loading all that body weight onto that foot. So you're driving up through that foot, taking it back down. Driving up through, taking it back down. Now what a lot of people tend to do is go up that foot down doesn't really add much into it, so just waste time. So just push through front foot and back down. Right foot and down. Again, with this one, we want to be careful with the knees. So our knees don't want to be caving in or rocking out to the side. So we're pushing up, keeping that knee over the ankle, driving through and back down. Slowly back down to make sure that knee isn't wobbling. So if you're pushing up and your knees coming out to the side, and as you lower your knees caving in, just regress the exercise, take it back to a split squat, where you can practice driving up with that knee over the ankle before you start loading all your body weight onto the chair. And once you've mastered all that, and you do want to take it to that next level, using the chair again, you're going to do a deficit lunge. So instead of just stepping up from this kind of 90-degree angle, you're actually going to be going into a reverse lunge. So you're taking that foot that little bit further back and dropping that knee down. So what you're doing here is creating a bigger angle so you have to push through a greater range of movement. So you're going down, going lower than this 90 degrees, and then having to use this whole leg to push through and back up. Now, I'd only recommend this if you are very confident in your technique and mobility of a squat. Otherwise, stick to your split squats, Bulgarian step-ups before you move on to this. So you can progress all these exercises by using a kettlebell, barbell, dumbbells or resistance bands, but we'll go over them in a different video in the future. So if you have any questions about the technique or how to do any of these, just drop a comment below or send me a message as well.